picking up extra shifts for your family, now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career
First pitch.
dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. Get your application fee waived now. Classes start August 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
Guilty, erroneous, sustained.
Are you just saying random words?
Don't settle for just any insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeart Radio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good. We are Fox Sports. Here's what you need to know on Fox Sports 940 Miami.
After an impressive shutout victory led by Sandy Alcantara, the Marlins try to win their 5th consecutive series, attempting to deck the Cards in the finale of their 3-game set in St. Louis. Cal Quantrill expected to take the hill for the Fish. Coverage here on Fox Sports 940 Miami begins at 7.
Right,
More tough news for the Dolphins secondary. Coach Mike McDaniel confirming Kader Kohu is out for the season and being placed on the IR after he injured his knee last Saturday in practice. After practice today, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa said he wants to play in the preseason, not thinking he's too cool to get reps. The Gators held their first practice this season with quarterback DJ Lagway out with a calf injury, giving a bulk of the snaps to transfer Harrison Bailey and senior Clay Millen. Inter Miami CF begins Leagues Cup play tonight at Chase Field against Atlas. The Herons, champions of the event in 2023, have most of the players healthy, including Lionel Messi, back from his 1-game suspension for missing the MLS All-Star game. And the Orlando Magic will be part of NBA history in January. They'll meet the Grizzlies in London on the 15th, and again 3 days later in Berlin, the first regular season game in the city. I'm Erica Rodriguez, Fox Sports 940 Miami.
From Fox Sports 940, Anachar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
1-1. He might have hit one out of the ballpark there. Out to right and deep. Second deck. He squared the bunt 2 pitches ago. And Kyle Stowers rips number 16 into the seats. Tied at 1, bottom 2.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
Pitch to Connor Norby. He drills out to right center and deep. Frelick back. Track wall. It is gone. Connor Norby. He's getting right. 1-1 pitch. That one hammered out to left center field and deep. Marcian Rojas back.
Gonna empty the tank here, boys.
And it's gone. Wag attack. A 2-run homer.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the
Fired
official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
All right, nice job, Carlos. Welcome. We are live from Busch Stadium in St. Louis on an 86-degree Wednesday night. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio, Fox Sports 940 Miami. Game 107 of 162, and tonight Miami is looking to cap off their 4th straight winning road trip with a victory tonight in the rubber match after shutting out the Cardinals 5-0 behind 5 shutout from Sandy Alcantara. The Marlins have won 9 of their last 13 games. As we close the chapter of the month of July that has supplied some special moments. Kyle Stowers' 3-home run game in Baltimore, representing, of course, the Miami Marlins in the All-Star game and adding another signature walk-off moment against the Kansas City Royals. All that hopefully will add up to a Player of the Month award for Mr. Stowers. We are pumped to bring you Game 3, the series finale and the final game of this road trip between the 55 and 54 St. Louis Cardinals and your now 51 and 55 Miami Marlins. I was looking at this today. Last year, the Marlins won 62 games. With 11 wins here for the rest of the season, the Marlins would shatter that, of course, and beat that from last year. Pretty unbelievable what this team has looked like in less than a year. Cal Quantrill, who's been just outstanding in the last 2 starts against the Royals and the Brewers. He's allowed just 1 run on 5 total hits over 11 innings. He will take the hill for Miami tonight. Miles Michaelis, 36-year-old right-hander in season 10, will make his 20th start and his 203rd of the season for the St. Louis Cardinals. We get going tonight at 7:45 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Wednesday night with Jack McMullen and Gabby Sanchez. I'm Steven Strom. Got an awesome show for you ahead. We're going the distance again on this final game of this road trip. We thank you for your participation. We got some tasty bites from the clubhouse last night. Troy Johnson, Clayton McCullough, Sandy Alcantara. We'll also hear from Dane Myers, who, I did not know this, was roommates with Troy Johnson. So a very emotional night for, of course, the Johnsons, but also for Dane Myers and his family. We'll get you at the count with Cal and Miles Michaelis. Jack will join the program. We'll talk about Graham Pauley's recent surge, plus some reaction from Troy Johnson's debut. Expo question of today at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to victory. So we got a ton of sound here in this opening segment. Let's lead with the big story yesterday, though. Troy Johnson collected his first career MLB hit last night. Here's how it looked and sounded on Marlins Radio.
The first pitch he got in this at-bat was 92-mile-an-hour fastball that was over the heart of the plate. He was ready to do some damage. 1-2. Johnston swings. He rips one through the right side. That's the first major league knock. Welcome to the big leagues, Troy Johnston.
That's
636 games in the minor leagues. And on the 5th pitch he sees in the major leagues, he has his first hits. That baseball makes its way over to the third base dugout, and that is going somewhere special for him.
Thing from
the first time I went over to first base, kind of looked around, even just stepping out onto the field the first time when it was disgustingly hot, but seeing the stadium, seeing the stands, realizing that this is a big league park and, you know, I am a big leaguer. But I think that, and of course the first hit, that's fun to get the first one out of the way, especially on the first at bat. So it was very euphoric. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and honestly, the wait was worth it.
We also heard from Clayton McCullough after his media availability yesterday. He was running his mouth about how he thought that Troy Johnson was going to get his first hit on a cutter in the zone. We talked to Troy yesterday. Did your manager call it?
That, and I heard that from Kelly, and I honestly, the fact that he called it is just, you know, he's got belief in me, and I'm very thankful for that.
And who will get the ball, Troy
I'm going to give it to my dad. He deserves it. He, he was the first person to teach me baseball and be a part of my life.
All right, so a really nice night for Troy Johnson, making his debut in a 5-0 win. We felt his impact offensively and defensively, but really, who cares what the pregame host thinks? Clayton McCullough, what was your thought on Troy's night?
Yeah, Troy has a ton of energy. The guys love him, and I think he would come out right away, get that knock there. Happy for him. I'm sure that's a moment he'll never forget, as he shows all the work to take to get here, and then to come in right away and contribute, get a knock, score a run. Look smooth over at first base, so really proud of him and happy that it went that way tonight.
All right, that was Marlins manager Clayton McCullough on Troy Johnson's night. Again, made his major league debut yesterday at the ripe age of 28 years old, over 600 minor league games. He went 1 for 2, doubled up Jordan Walker. Nice play defensively. He is back in the lineup tonight. The other story yesterday that, of course, was headlines, Sandy Alcantara collected another win, back-to-back really nice starts. Not a quality one. He didn't get to 6 innings, but he did toss 5 shutout. Here was Clayton on Sandy last night.
I think what he has gone through this year, which has been well documented, it hasn't been started the season as he would like, okay? But he just hangs in there. He's continuing to try to problem solve between starts. You know you're going to get someone that's going to go out there and compete with every pitch he has. And you know, the amount of trust that our clubhouse has in Sandy and the confidence that we have in Sandy has never wavered. And you know, these last two have been great. You know, him to 12 really terrific innings, and get a couple wins. So proud of how Sandy just continues to just chug along, and he's continuing to dig himself out of the the early season struggles.
12 shutouts in the last 2 starts for Sandy Alcantara. We, of course, know what is going on this week. The trade deadline, it is over tomorrow, so this is going to be the final game for the Miami Marlins. And, of course, they will open up a series against the Yankees on Friday. But the big question to Sandy, are you thinking about it? Has it lingered in your mind leading up to this start? Here's what Sandy had to say.
Nothing on my mind right now. So everyone know, my teammate know, coaches, myself, my family know that I want to be here. So. But if something happened tonight, tomorrow, I don't know when it's happened. Just gotta control what I can control. Just be out there if you're feeling here in Miami or somewhere else. I don't know, but I feel comfortable here.
All right, that was Sandy Alcantara. So hopefully, and I'm just looking forward to this whole thing of ending. Marlins will enjoy an off day tomorrow. Looking for a series win here tonight, but I think for everyone up here in the booth, down there, it's going to be a little bit of a deep breath when we can walk into Lone Depot Park on Friday, knowing who is here, knowing who is not here. But a ton of credit to Clayton McCullough and the entire staff that has handled this whole thing really well. No one has really said anything. There hasn't been any distractions. The Marlins have looked like the same team we've seen since the beginning of June. So a ton of credit to the coaching staff for guiding and steering this young team that really, is there amidst a ton of trade talks. Every time you click on Twitter, you click on X, whatever you want to call it, the Miami Marlins are in some trade discussion. So, again, the only one to go, Nick Fortes to Tampa Bay. But I did want to get that sound of Sandy Alcantara last night. Task at hand, Cal Quantrill. He will go opposite Miles Michaelis here tonight at 7:45. But we will continue our Troy Johnston party on the Marlins Radio Network, because coming up next, Dane Myers will join the program. He will talk about just some of his emotions. His wife was very active, Mallory, on social media. Dane Myers' wife. They are very close with the Johnstons. Want to get their reaction, plus what Troy is going to do for this team. That is all next as Marlins on Deck continues on the Marlins Radio Network.
The plate, who's ready to do some damage. 1-2. Johnston swings. He rips one through the right side. That's the first major league knock. Welcome to the big leagues, Troy Johnston. 636 games in the minor leagues. And on the 5th pitch he sees in the major leagues, he has his first hits. That baseball makes its way over to the third base dugout, and that is going somewhere special for him. Month-old daughter Tatum are in attendance. 0-1. That one hit high in the air, out to right and deep. Walker is back at the track, and it's gone. The first home run as a Marlin for Graham Pauley. It comes in his 39th game. Graham Pauley, 103 off the bat, 384 feet into the Cardinal bullpen in right. And the Marlins open scoring in the second. It's 2-0 Fish. 2-1. That one hit in the air, out to right center field and deep. Sanoja and Sanchez converging. That one is caught. Sanoja went straight back, and then he took a sharp turn left, and he made the grab sliding. Javier Sanoja with a really nice play in center. That one looped into right center field. That is in for a base hit. That'll score Stowers from second base. Otto Lopez with a one-hopper to the right fielder, Jordan Walker. Stowers comes in to score, and it's 3-0 Marlins in the top of the 5th. It was cool, yeah. 1-2. That one sprayed down the line. Tough play for Walker. He's working back. On the track, it's over his head, and it short hops off the wall. Myers chugging in. He will score from first base, and it's a pinch hit RBI double for Wag Attack. 4-0 Fish in the top of the 6th.
I've done that here again in the 6th.
First pitch here to Xavier Edwards. That one slapped down the right field line.
Welcome back here to Marlins on Deck, getting you ready for the series finale. Cardinals and Marlins. Steven Strom, Dane Myers joins us now, and yesterday was such a cool day to see your former roommate, who I did not know you guys were ex-roommates, but he made his debut yesterday. Troy Johnson collected a hit. We talked about his emotions. Why was it emotional maybe for you and also your wife, who was very active on social media with Troy's debut?
Yeah, like you said, special day. Knowing Troy as long as I have, being roommates like you said. He was basically the first guy I met too coming over when I got Rule 5. So just seeing his hard work and his bravery, sticking with it, seeing some guys get called up where he probably felt like he should have got the call and not really letting that get to him and just sticking it out and eventually making it up here, and I think he'll make an impact for us now.
I've already noticed a different energy that he's brought to the clubhouse. What is or who is Troy Johnson, and how can he affect this clubhouse and also just his on-the-field production?
Yeah, it's a good guy to have in the clubhouse, that's for sure. Always making jokes, not necessarily dwelling on a bad or too good performance. Basically the same guy in the clubhouse all the time. So really good guy to have in the clubhouse when you need a little lightening up. He's a special guy. He really cares about his teammates too. So having a guy like that in the clubhouse is always a plus.
What kind of roommate was he?
Roommate, he talks a little much, so there's that. But no, he's a good roommate. My wife and my son love him, so nice having him and his wife in the house. So we enjoyed our time together for sure.
Did he pick up after himself? Was he a guy that cooked a meal occasionally?
Yeah, I definitely labeled him the dad of the house. I like to lay around and be lazy, and he was a guy picking up, cooking and cleaning like my wife likes to do. So he's definitely a good guy to have as a roommate.
Very good. Thank you for the time, Dan.
Thanks, Stevie.
All right, we will break here. We'll get you ahead of the count. Miles Michaelis and Cal Quantrill, 7:45 first pitch series finale. Marlins and Cardinals on the Marlins Radio Network.
Oh no, stomach issues again? Stomach issues? Who are you?
1-2, Durbin goes again, but that one is a called third strike. 96 painted on the inside corner. And the Miami Marlins come to Milwaukee and take a series from the best team in the National League. It's the first time the Brewers have lost back-to-back games since July 2nd and 3rd. And these fish ride the long ball, and a sterling relief appearance from Tyler Phillips to another victory. Your Miami Marlins get the win over the Brewers at American Family Field in Milwaukee, 7-4 on Saturday night.
Right now in Kyle Stowers.
Woodruff seeing Kyle, first pitch. He's swinging away. He loops one beyond the outstretched glove of the shortstop Ortiz. It's dribbling into left for a base hit, and that is an RBI knock. X comes in to score from third. You don't have to hit it hard. It feels like he always does, but that's 73 miles an hour off the end of the bat. A little looper evaded the shortstop Ortiz, and it's 1-0 Fish in the top of the first.
Will start, but that is what Brandon Woodruff has done through his first 4 turns as a Brewer this year. And Hernandez rips one high in the air out to right. That's carrying pretty well.
Collins is back at the track. It kept on going, and it's gone. Big Bird come again, second homer of the weekend. And Heriberto Hernandez drills his 5th on the year. 2-1 Fish in the top of the 4th.
For Ronnie. Runner at second, nobody out. And the 0-2 to Contreras. Is a hard roller over to the shortstop.
Lopez, he'll go to third. Chourio tried it. Winkler got the tag down, and they cut down Jackson Chourio.
Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, this is Anthony Bender, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. Series finale here in St. Louis. Marlins shut out the Cards 5-0 yesterday behind Sandy Alcantara's 5 shutout innings. Tonight, Cal Quantrill will get the ball for Clayton McCullough's Marlins. He will go opposite Miles Michaelis the 36-year-old right-hander. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Cal, 6'3", 200-pound right-hander from Port Hope, Canada, will make his 21st start of the season. He's 3-8 with a 5.05 ERA over 92 2/3 innings pitched, 74 Ks to 24 walks for Cal. He didn't factor on Friday in Milwaukee, allowing just 1 run over 5 frames of baseball, 3 hits, 45 of 65 pitches for Cal were thrown for strikes. He's now just allowed 1 run on 5 hits over his last 2 starts, which, again, we talked about in the Open, the Brewers and the Royals. Cal, what was working for you, though, specifically against the Brewers on Friday?
Thought we just mixed well. Stayed in the zone, challenged them, got ahead in counts, didn't let them play their game. I thought we had kind of had 2 or 3 different fastballs working and you know, kind of tried to pick the one that we thought was best to each hitter, and the outcome kind of was what we were hoping for.
Those 3 fastballs that Cal is talking about, that cutter at 23% of the time, that 4-seamer at 22% of the time, and that sinker at 20% of the time. The percentage is up because Cal only threw 65 pitches, but you saw those 3 pitches working against Milwaukee. Career-wise against the Cards, Cal shoves, man. 5 appearances, 2 starts, 2-0, a 0.56 ERA over 16 innings pitched. This guy pitched another gem. He might be named the mayor of St. Louis. Cal Quantrill will take the ball for Miami. He will go opposite Miles Michaelis, who is in season 10, 36-year-old right-hander, 2-time All-Star, 6-7 this season with a 4.94 ERA, 102 innings pitched this season, 20 starts. 4 of his last 5 seasons have been 30-start years for Michaelis, so he is a guy that takes the ball every 5th day. He earned the win on Friday against San Diego, allowed 7 hits across 5 scoreless innings. 2 of his last 3 starts, he's tossed a scoreless outing. 10 appearances, 8 career starts against Miami. He's got decent numbers as well. Not as good as Cal's, though. 4-1, 3.33 ERA, 48 2/3 innings pitched. A couple of tidbits I did want to hit on for Michaelis, that 4-seamer, and he's a guy that throws the kitchen sink at you, similar to what we saw from Seth Lugo last week. He throws a 4-seamer, a slider, a curveball, a sinker, a changeup, a sweeper, and my favorite pitch, the slow curve. I just love that that's labeled a pitch. That 4-seamer for Michaelis, though, nothing overpowering, averages about 92 miles per hour, and opponents are hitting 326. So look for that. Another thing I do want to mention to you guys is the first inning numbers for Miles Michaelis, a 6.75 ERA. 7 of his 17 home runs have been given up in the first inning. So look for the Marlins maybe to be aggressive and try to plate some early ones against Miles Michaelis. He's a lot better here in St. Louis. He posted 3.75 ERA over 9 starts compared to when he's away from St. Louis. He's a 6 ERA over 11 starts. Couple vets, Cal Quantrill and Miles Michaelis will toe the rubber for this series finale. We'll break. We'll get Jack McMullen on next. We'll talk pitching. Cal has a new battery mate, plus Graham Pauley continues to surge on the Marlins Radio Network.
The plate, who's ready to do some damage. 1-2. Johnston swings. He rips one through the right side. That's the first major league knock. Welcome to the big leagues, Troy Johnston. 636 games in the minor leagues. And on the 5th pitch he sees in the major leagues, he has his first hits. That baseball makes its way over to the third base dugout, and that is going somewhere special for him. Month-old daughter Tatum are in attendance. 0-1. That one hit high in the air, out to right and deep. Walker is back at the track, and it's gone. The first home run as a Marlin for Graham Pauley. It comes in his 39th game. Graham Pauley, 103 off the bat, 384 feet into the Cardinal bullpen in right. And the Marlins open scoring in the second. It's 2-0 Fish. 2-1. That one hit in the air, out to right center field and deep. Sanoja and Sanchez converging. That one is caught. Sanoja went straight back, and then he took a sharp turn left, and he made the grab sliding. Javier Sanoja with a really nice play in center. That one looped into right center field. That is in for a base hit. That'll score Stowers from second base. Otto Lopez with a one-hopper to the right fielder, Jordan Walker. Stowers comes in to score, and it's 3-0 Marlins in the top of the 5th. It was cool, yeah. 2. That one sprayed down the line. Tough play for Walker. He's working back. On the track, it's over his head, and it short hops off the wall. Myers chugging in. He will score from first base, and it's
Para those of Verizon 5G Internet más una línea única. Welcome to AT&T Internet Free Caller más una línea única. Restaurado. Requiere Xfinity Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 gigabits por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
All right, here we go. We're rocking and rolling here. Steven Strom steering you to first pitch at 7:45. Jack McMullen joins me now. Cal Quantrill, Miles Michaelis, they will be our matchup on the mound tonight. Carlos back in the studio, hitting the ones and twos. Fox Sports 940, Miami. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, here's a little appetizer. Take the Marlins wherever you go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 the top preset to listen to every Marlins game. Jack, there was a ton of storylines yesterday going into it. The big one, Troy Johnson, Sandy Alcantara in what could have been his last start. We don't know. Thank goodness this is coming to an end here in 48 hours. 5 shutout, though. Another really nice performance from Sandy. But something that maybe went under the radar, Graham Pauley with his first home run in Marlins threads. And for Graham, 417 on the batting average, over 1,200 OPS in a very small sample size. Last 7 games for him. What have you seen from Graham Pauley, Jack?
Yeah, just a guy that looks a little bit more comfortable at the major league level, and it feels like we're seeing the next iteration of Graham Pauley, which is really cool. At the beginning, I think we saw a guy that was up there because he had to be, right? And we watched an audition during an exhibition game against the Yankees that Tuesday before opening day because all of a sudden, 48 hours before that, Connor Norby hurt his oblique with a head-first dive into third base in spring training. So we saw a guy that was situationally there. And for Pauley, like, okay, he's situationally here again because Norby got hurt, but it feels like he has that first sample of Major League Baseball under his belt and AAA success under his belt. This was not a guy that had ample AAA success last year. What happened after the trade that brought Pauley over? They sent him to AA. He was playing in El Paso, and they sent him from AAA with the Padres to AA with the Marlins. So this was a guy that got his first taste of Major League Baseball in a larger sample.
Timeline, man.
Yeah, in a larger sample, and then he goes to AAA. He settles in, and he was a darn good AAA baseball player before being recalled with the Norby injury. So I think we're seeing the most comfortable big league version of Graham Pauley that we've seen at this point in his career.
He's back in the lineup, batting 8th and playing 3rd. Cal Quantrill, it's been a nice couple of starts for Cal. Let's hear from him on Friday and what was working for him against the
I thought we just mixed well. Stayed in the zone, challenged him, got ahead in counts, didn't let them play their game. I thought we had kind of had 2 or 3 different fastballs working and you know, kind of tried to pick the one that we thought was best to each hitter, and the outcome kind of was what we were hoping for.
That was Cal Quantrill. Threw that cutter 23% of the time, four-seamer 22%, and sinker 20%. But it's that splitter, I thought, Jack, that really played well against the Brew Crew.
Yeah, I think so, and there are a lot of lefties in that lineup, and he's going to be, for the most part, cutter split along with a four-seam fastball against left-handed hitters, and it feels like that's the way that he has learned to attack effectively. For Cal Quantrill, something that he said really jumped out to me. He felt like he had 3 different fastballs working, and he was choosing which one he wanted to go to. He is referring to the four-seam, which is about 94. He's referring to the sinker, which is about 94. And he's referring to the cutter, which is about 90. You can use both those pitches over the course of a single at-bat. Or you can use one of those fastball and sinker with the cutter, is what I mean, over the course of a single at-bat. But it's really cool. Like, we've seen guys carve out a long major league career by working with 3 different fastballs. Bartolo Colon's probably the best example of that. But Lance Lynn is another guy that is a really good example of that. Lance Lynn was a guy that was going to go four-seam, sinker, cutter. He would go kind of a more like traditional running two-seam fastball. Like, he had a whole bunch of different iterations of a fastball that he could go to, and he just picked the one that made hitters uncomfortable. And that's who Cal Quantrill can be on a start-by-start basis.
And he's going to be working with a new battery mate. He was caught by Liam Hicks for the majority of his tenure up here with the Marlins. 13 times. Nick Fortes caught Cal 6 times. This will be the first time that Agustin Ramirez catches Cal Quantrill. I know you asked Clayton McCullough earlier today in media availability.
Yeah, and I phrased it as the Canadian connection. I got some giggles out of that. I wasn't shooting for giggles there, but it's always nice when you're not shooting for giggles to get some giggles. But, I phrased it in a way that I wanted to bring up the weather. Like, the type of question that I asked was,
was part of the reasoning that Hicks caught last night, and these are difficult circumstances. And he said that certainly went into a part of this decision. But what Clayton really wanted to prioritize to us in our media setting was Augustine is going to get the bulk of the catching reps, and you're going to need to catch everybody if you're going to get the bulk of the catching reps. So this is an opportunity to see how Augustine handles a Cal Quantrill. It felt like Cal and Hicks settled into a bit of a rhythm as those Ontario guys, both from the Toronto area. But I also think, like, I'm glad he acknowledged that it did play a little bit of a factor there because it would be really tough for a guy to catch back-to-back games, albeit like, okay, night game after night game. I understand that that's traditionally something that a catcher can handle. It's a furnace outside in St. Louis, and I can appreciate getting Hicks off of his knees and getting him out of the crouch today and just giving him a breather like, hey, man, that was a very hot day yesterday. We heard Sonny and Sandy both comment on the elements yesterday.
It is a little bit, quote-unquote, cooler from a temperature perspective.
Yeah.
It's 84 degrees. That's Jack McMullen. I'm Steven Strom. How about this? Gabby Sanchez, fresh off a TV pregame. We talked storylines, Gab. We talked about Cal Quantrill working with a new battery mate. We talked Graham Pauley, what he's looked like since coming up from AAA Jacksonville. What are the storylines that Gabby Sanchez is looking out for in this series finale?
Well, actually, I just finished hearing on the Ryan Helsley trade.
Yeah.
Closer for the Cardinals. Marlins aren't going to have to worry about him in today's ball game.
It is kind of nice. And the other thing to factor in with that, I mean, we saw Washington do that earlier today. They moved Andrew Chafin and Luis Garcia to Anaheim. They played with a 24-man roster, and they had 6 guys in that bullpen. So we're looking at, to Gabby's point, like, okay, the all-star closer is no longer a St. Louis Cardinal, and Cardinal bullpen is a man down right now. They did make a transaction. I saw Gordon Graceffo recalled for John King. It's exactly what we forecasted, oblique thing, after his left side grabbed on him last night.
Yep. Gabby, interesting kind of play last night with Xavier Edwards at first base. Thank goodness he's back in the lineup. I know he's been dealing with somewhat of a knee thing, banged knees with Contreras, but you played in this league. What did you see on that play?
Well, what I saw was a catcher playing first base who really hasn't gotten comfortable yet. I mean, really, that's what it was, because any first baseman will tell you as soon as that ball gets bobbled, it's a flip to the pitcher. Like, if you catch it clean, you run to the base. If you bobble it, you get in front of it. At first base, they would always teach you, like, you're trying to get in front of it, right? If you catch it cleanly, great. But if you bobble it, you're fine, right? You just pick it up, you give it right to the pitcher. You saw somebody who was kind of like in no man's land of like, I don't know what to do here. I bobbled it, but I feel like I can get there. And because of that, I mean, both of them could have gotten hurt really bad. I mean, I've gone knees to knees with guys before. It is painful. It hurts. Luckily for Xavier Edwards, it looks like he's going to be fine with it. But it's one of those situations where, dude, at first base, just get him. I mean, he's right there. Pitcher, just give it to him. It's easy. It's not that hard.
It's not how Wilson rolls. That honestly, that isn't how he's rolled since he debuted with the Cubs in the mid-2010s. Like, this guy is always.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with the base running.
Yeah.
X back in the lineup tonight and will be the table setter. Guys, we are in the final game of July. We're off tomorrow, of course, open up a series against the Yankees, but we're going to turn the page to August. Just curious from your guys' perspective, this has been the month and the year of Kyle Stowers, but we had mentioned earlier in the program, Stowers' 3-home run game against the Baltimore Orioles, his former team. He had his infamous another signature walk-off home run against the Royals. What would you say is the most memorable moment from Kyle Stowers in the month of July?
In July. So in the season, I'm still going the Mason Miller walk-off grand slam. For me, it was the 3rd homer in Baltimore. Like, that's the one. The other one that I want to shout out is the homer in the swing-off.
That's what I was going to go with.
I understand.
You're taking that from me. I wasn't going to go with anything. You know why? For me, that was the moment, because all eyes were on him.
Yeah.
All of baseball was watching him out there hitting. And not only that, with the pressure that you have, that you want to win the All-Star game, because then you know whichever league wins that, they're going to be hosting the World Series. Like, that's a very important game to go out there with.
They nixed that rule like 5 years ago.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did.
I thought they still had that.
No, they nixed it.
Oh, then I messed up. Then it doesn't really matter.
Cal Quantrill, Miles Michaelis, they will pitch in about 15 minutes here. That's Gabby Sanchez. That's Jack McMullen. They have your call in 15 minutes. We'll break your Expo questions. Steve's guaranteed. If these guys want to jump in, they'll jump in on the Marlins Radio Network.
The plate. He was ready to do some damage. 1-2. Johnston swings. He rips one through the right side. That's the first major league knock. Welcome to the big leagues, Troy Johnston.
That's
636 games in the minor leagues. And on the 5th pitch he sees in the major leagues, he has his first hits. That baseball makes its way over to the third base dugout, and that is going somewhere special for him. Month-old daughter Tatum are in attendance. 0-1. That one hit high in the air, out to right and deep. Walker is back at the track, and it's gone. The first home run as a Marlin for Graham Pauley. It comes in his 39th game. Graham Pauley, 103 off the bat, 384 feet into the Cardinal bullpen in right. And the Marlins open scoring in the second. It's 2-0 Fish. 2-1. That one hit in the air, out to right center field and deep. Sanoja and Sanchez converging. That one is caught. Sanoja went straight back, and then he took a sharp turn left, and he made the grab sliding. Javier Sanoja with a really nice play in center. That one looped into right center field. That is in for a base hit. That'll score Stowers from second base. Otto Lopez with a one-hopper to the right fielder, Jordan Walker. Stowers comes in to score, and it's 3-0 Marlins in the top of the 5th. It was cool, yeah. 1-2. That one sprayed down the line. Tough play for Walker. He's working back. On the track, it's over his head, and it short hops off the wall. Myers chugging in. He will score from first base, and it's a pinch hit RBI double for Wag Attack. 4-0.
Valid on qualifying purchases at the participating Cuba Vera stores at Dolphin Mall, Sawgrass Mills, or online at cubavera.com. This offer is valid until September 1st, 2025. Other exclusions may apply.
Marlins on deck, emptying the tank on this Wednesday night here in St. Louis, live from Busch Stadium. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, Gabby Sanchez, Tierney to first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network, about 12 minutes away from first pitch, where we will have Cal Quantrill toe the rubber for Miami. He's allowed one run over his last 2 starts against the Brewers and the Royals. He'll go opposite Miles Michaelis, the Florida man, 2-time All-Star, 36-year-old right-hander. He will make his 21st start. How about for Michaelis? 4 of the last 5 seasons with 30 starts. This guy posts every 5th day. Let's get to our X-Poll question today at Marlins Radio. You know, I was inspired by this question today because the great Joe Torre, who played here and, of course, was, I think, most known for being the manager of the New York Yankees during that run. Jeff Nelson in the house as well, pretty cool. But what I was wondering was, who's the all-time Cardinal home run leader at Marlins Radio? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Either you're in one camp of saying, oh, God, here comes this 27-year-old not knowing who this guy, I know who he is. And then you have my crowd, the younger audience, that's probably thinking, oh, yeah, number 5 that used to play for this team. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. It's going to get you. It is time for Steve's Guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
I like the Marlins tonight to score in the first inning. Miles Michaelis has a 6.75 ERA in the opening frame. 7 of his 17 home runs have been given up in this opening first inning. 2 starts ago, Arizona plated 4 runs against Michaelis in the first inning, and back on July 4th, which doesn't seem that too far ago, the Cubs plated 2 in the opening frame. He's had a little bit of an issue in that first inning. I like the Marlins to score first in the opening frame. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Gabby Sanchez, he is ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together. Miami Marlins baseball. It's next on the Marlins Radio Network.